Why should you be looking at a contract before I sign off on it?
Potentially draft clauses into the agreement of purchase and sale in order to protect you.
What happens when you get the instructions?
We'll complete the title search. That's one of the most important parts.
What other documentation should I get ready?
Those are some of the key items you're going to need. And of course, the down payment.
Hello, folks, and welcome again to the Mortgage Den. I'm Nick Silva, principal broker here at Northwood Mortgage. And today we have Bobby Brykman from Brykman, Leffler Law.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciated it. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for taking time out of your day. So Brykman Law does a lot of real estate work. We do a lot of work for our clients, and Bobby's here to explain why a lawyer is so important. So Bobby, I'm about to buy a house. When should I start talking to a lawyer?
I would say you should start talking to me immediately when you're looking to buy a new house. A lot of people contact their lawyers too late. That I'd say would be probably one of the biggest mistakes. They contact them after they've already signed the agreement of purchase and sale. So my recommendation is, even when you're just starting to look to buy or starting to look to sell or even refinance, contact us in advance so we can start to look over the documents you're going to sign with those professionals before you enter into the contracts to sell.
No, I'm buying. Why should you look at, even let's say it's a resale, why should you be looking at a contract before I sign off on it?
With every single purchase is unique on its own. There may be specific clauses dealing either with financing or if you have construction plans, if there's certain appliances or items in the property that you're expecting to receive, timing of closings, there could be estate matters, family law matters, could be various aspects regarding the transaction that's unique. So you want to bring in our team in order to review the contract and potentially draft clauses into the agreement of purchase and sale in order to protect you.
I get the protection part. I've made the offer. What if I'm buying from a builder?
Right.
Should I be contacting you? Should I show you the contract? I mean, are they not just, draft copies and they just put my address and name on it?
You should for sure be also on those sending us the contract before you sign them. The builders do have their standard form of contract. However, they'll often also have amendments to those if you negotiate those. And there are certain things, especially dealing with adjustment items. So these are costs on closing, dealing with development levies, education levies, and other types of costs that are added on. And so that's one example. There could be assignment rights. There could be extensions to closing rights. If you're closing a corporation, there could be rules on that, timing of deposit payments. So you want to bring that to us before you sign the contract.
Right. So you should know exactly what you're getting yourself into before, it's too late, before you sign and then you run into these problems. All right. So let's move to the next step. So I've made the offer. You looked at my purchase sale agreement. You've given it the green light. I've made the offer. More likely, I'm now gone to a broker like ourselves to get the financing. And then you receive, instructions from the lawyer. Let's walk through the process. What happens when you get the instructions?
Sure. So when we're acting on a purchase, after the agreement's finalized, they'll work with a great team like you guys in terms of getting your mortgage completed. We'll receive the instructions. We'll complete the title search. That's one of the most important parts. There could be things on title dealing with tax liens, construction liens. So those are some of the items. Mortgages, old mortgages need to be discharged. People on title that aren't part of the agreement purchase and sale. So there could be certain aspects. So we'll deal with those title issues as well. We'll receive the mortgage instructions and we'll put together for you the amount that you need to come up with on closing in order to finalize your transaction. And what that will be made up of will be your land transfer tax amount, the mortgage amount, your down payment, and any other closing and legal costs associated.
I'm about to close my property. What cost would I be looking at when I'm buying a property?
Some of the key costs that to consider are land transfer taxes. So land transfer taxes is a levy both by the Ontario government and the City of Toronto. So if you're buying in Ontario, there's a land transfer tax amount. In Toronto, it's double. As well, if you're a first-time home buyer, you will receive also a rebate for some of these costs. So you want to bring that to me. I may be able to help structure your transaction to maximize your credit. Other types of closing costs to consider are title insurance. So title insurance is to protect you for the main one being fraud on the property. There's other protections as well in dealing with work orders, construction liens, tax arrears, and other matters. So that's a cost as well on closing, as well as legal costs. And there could be other matters as well, insurance premiums, broker fees, things of that nature.
That seems pretty simple. It looks like the transaction should go nice and smoothly. You got some stories for me that would scare people into really taking this seriously?
Yeah, definitely many times. And I think it's where I was started off earlier when you don't get the lawyer involved early enough up front. So on a purchase side, that would be, say, for example, you're buying a condo property and you enter into agreement purchase and sale and you sign it. And then you come to me after and I'm like, well, did you get a status certificate? Well, no. Do I need that? I'm like, well, yes. And then they send that to me and it reveals various problems such as a special assessment. So that's where there may be unforeseen costs in the building, whether it be a large renovation or garage repair. And now the financing company doesn't want to lend you the money because it's too high of a risk. And now you've already signed the agreement. So that's a horror story as to why you want to really bring in the lawyer up front to make sure that does not happen. That's on a buy. On the sales side as well, you want to bring it up front because you have to make, especially in this market currently where it's somewhat of a difficult market, you want to bring that to us up front because you have to make sure you have enough money in order to sell your property. What if your mortgages are more than what your sale price and what you're going to obtain, which we are seeing more and more now. So you want to bring it to us and try to negotiate those mortgages potentially up front before you sell.
So, Bobby, again, I'm buying a property, right? I've contacted you, giving you the purchase sale agreement to review for me. What other documentation should I get ready so I have it prepared for coming to see you?
Right. So if you're buying a property, some of the things you need to have ready are your identification. So make sure you have up-to-date ID. If you're financing, you're going to need 2 pieces of ID, whether it be like a Ontario driver's license, Canadian passport, permanent residency card, credit card, things like that. You're going to need your insurance. So when you're buying a property, you're going to need a property insurance policy that protects the lender. If it's a condo property, you're going to need a status certificate. As well, I guess if you're buying a property, your banking details. Those are some of the key items you're going to need, and of course the down payment to bring in on closing.
Let's just take a step back. Identification. Why is it so important for ID when I'm coming to close a real estate transaction?
Look, you're buying one of the biggest assets you're ever going to own. The title insurance company is protecting you and your purchase. So we have to make sure it's actually you buying and you obtaining the money from the mortgage. If it's another party, then a fraud could happen. So what you need to have is all of your ID in place. What's happened now in the last few years is there's also identification verification. So this is certain companies where you're going to have to upload your ID and also take like a selfie with a camera where you see your face, and it uses diagnostics and technology to ensure that the identification you provided and your face image matches one another, and you are in fact the party that's signing. So
let's talk about a situation where, again, client didn't follow your advice, made the offer originally without you seeing it, came to you, and you had to do some magic to save their heinies.
Yeah.
You have a story like that you can talk to me about?
Yeah, it's happened many times. More recently, that did happen where they did not have enough money to close in terms of it. Fortunately, we had a relationship with one of the other lawyers involved, and we were able to negotiate both 2 unsecured debts. So these are judgments they had against themselves, as well as their current mortgage amount, and lower those amounts in order to allow our clients to sell the property because the mortgages were just way more and the debts were way more than what they had on title. So that's one. Another one potentially deals with issues regarding an old mortgage. So sometimes what can happen is you have a mortgage on title that you're buying the place, and there's a mortgage from like the 60s dealing with somebody that wasn't even involved anymore. So we got one that came up like a week before closing. Fortunately, we were able to get the court documents put in place by a litigation lawyer and filed by the time of closing in order to finalize. So definitely you want to involve your lawyer, as I said earlier, as early as possible, because that way we can deal with any of these issues in advance.
Bobby, we've been talking about me buying a house. What if I'm refinancing my house? Before I call the mortgage broker up, should I be calling you? What work should I do if I'm just looking at refinancing?
Yeah, I definitely think also in those circumstances, you should call us whether before or simultaneously with the mortgage broker before signing the mortgage documents. We always want to review the mortgage commitment to make sure that it best aligns with your objectives. and to make sure there aren't any type of clauses that could be at issue in there. As well, we want to make sure that basically you're getting the right mortgage for your personal circumstances. Everyone has a different need, and we want to make sure it matches what you're looking for.
Well, that's great, Bobby. That was great advice. Thank you very much for coming here today. Hopefully we'll see you soon. And for folks out there, stay in touch and look out for our next episode on The Mortgage Den.
Thank you for having me.